Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are watching The Grinch Story. The only one we're watching them, I know it says 3, but we're watching the guy named Horror Show Parties. So let's just get into it. Oh, The Grinch.
I'm a 78-year-old retired car salesman living in a suburban area of Chicago, Illinois.
He lives in Chicago, guys.
After my wife passed away, I moved.
What? That's your wife. Where's her eyes? Where is her eyes? That's scary.
In with my son and saw a lot of stuff I never would have expected. I just didn't want to be lonely. But my son knew
What are these animations? Why do they have no eyes? What are these teeth?
I was hard of mobility and still put me up
Why did he twitch like that? What is he holding? How is he holding it?
in the bedroom upstairs. I've basically lived in this bedroom, and for the most part I only get up to use the bathroom down the hall.
Lazy.
But as much as I hate to say it, I guess I was too depressed after the passing of my wife to get on my son's back.
Oh, that's him, not his wife. Okay, I get it now.
About letting me live downstairs. He would probably never budge anyway. He's got a job and a whole family of his own, so he's too busy to even think about the old cadre wasting away upstairs. Sometimes I wonder if they've all forgotten about me. They barely come into my room to talk to me anyway, and it's getting to be more and more that the people in my TV shows feel like closer friends than my own son and grandkids. They get so bored that I even spy on my neighbors just to have
That's a bit creepy. Spying on your neighbors.
something to do. My bed is close enough to the window that I can see into their backyard without
I think someone should call the police.
getting up. For a few years, I think I saw more of that family than I did my own. It was a middle-aged guy named Mike, who was living with his mother and sister. Well, I don't know who owned the property, but I figured it was Mike's based on what I ended up seeing happen there. I swear, those folks seemed nice on the outset. Nothing to evoke suspicion, just quaint, happy little lives that made me feel more comfortable
What was gonna happen to the family?
in my own boring, bedridden existence. I'd seen them talk to each other on their back porch in the evenings or go out gardening in the mornings, and I never heard anything unusual for the longest time. That was until a couple years after I moved in, around Christmas time. I had just turned off the TV and was turning
Why did he sleep like that? He just turned off the TV. One night before Christmas.
into sleep for the night when I heard people arguing.
Go to hell, you stupid tramp!
Oh, drama.
The voices weren't familiar, so I knew it was coming from next door. At some point, the shouting became screaming, and I started hearing all sorts of other noises going along with it. Doors slamming, glass breaking, loud thuds, the whole business. Then, it all just stopped. I was tired, so I assumed it was just an argument that ran itself out of steam, but I had a nagging feeling about it that played with my sleep. Some hours later, at what turned out to be 4 a.m., I was woken up by more noises.
He was woken up by more noises, guys. More noises.
I looked out my window and saw Mike in the backyard. I had no idea what he was doing,
That is
but
not Mike. That is not Mike. I think Mike's in the bag. That's the Grinch. That's the Grinch, guys. The Grinch.
he was in a Grinch costume hauling some
Oh,
big
he's in a Grinch costume. But how do you know it's him? How do you know it's Mike guy? That guy. How does that guy know it's Mike? How does he not know if he's in the bag or not? That could be a random dude in a Grinch costume.
Christmas sack to the tree by the garden shed. Then he opened the shed and grabbed a shovel and
He's digging a grave.
started digging, and I realized he was burying that bag in the frozen
Oh, you knew it.
dirt. I didn't know what to think of it. It must have taken him an entire 30
What the?
minutes before he finished and went back inside his house. The only thing I could think was that he was some hyper-dedicated geezer playing the role of
Why do you have such a big mouth? And where is his nose? Duh.
the Grinch, trying to hide some stolen donations from an orphanage or something. I don't know. I'd always thought he was a nice guy, so there was no explanation that sat right with me. I waited until morning to tell my son. Of course, he didn't believe me. He thought I was just a crazy old coot, and so did everybody else in the house. With nobody to back me up, I started to believe that. I ended up brushing it aside and forgetting about it. The weird thing about it, though, was that I never saw the neighbor's mother ever again. She was the one who always tended the garden. But after all that happened, she was never there to take care of the plants. However, I still saw Mike and his sister outside on the porch from time to time,
Why did
but
they look
they never
depressed?
looked quite as happy. After a while, everything went back to normal, until about 4 years later. After so much time,
4 years later. Okay. 4 years in the future now.
my son tried befriending his neighbors. He would always try to talk to them, but they would just give him a gaunt stare and say nothing, eventually going back inside their house. Both of them, the brother and sister, were definitely a weird bunch, but things
Weird bunch.
got a little more disturbing right around Christmas, just like before.
Oh, I don't think Christmas is a good time for the family. Very sad time.
It seemed like it was happening all over again. There was shouting, then screaming, then a tussle and a thud, then a sudden silence. This time, I stayed up to watch. This all happening twice was way too strange for me to sleep on it. It was right around 4 in the morning again. I stood up out of my bed to get a closer look out the window. I could see him coming out the back door.
He's there again. The Grinch is there again. What is he doing? I'm gonna make a accusation. He's gonna bury the bag again in the same spot behind the tree.
He was again dressed as the Grinch, dragging a big bag of something to the tree and burying it under the
Told you.
dirt. That's when out of nowhere, Mike turned his head and looked straight into my window. I quickly closed the
He turned his head, looked straight into his window. Oh, you hear the voice he had.
blinds, but he had already seen me. A few minutes later, I couldn't help but peek. And what else did I see but the man himself in the window?
Oh. Now imagine that just staring at you. Like, you just look out your window after waking up, just staring at you. Oh, that's creepy.
Right across from mine, still in costume, glaring at me. I tried to act casual and play it off, so I opened the window and tried to make conversation across the way. Nice Grinch outfit. Thanks, buddy. Nice night out too, isn't it? Indeed it is. So, what are you doing up so late? That's when Mike stares at me, not saying a word. Anyway, have a good rest of your night. Merry Christmas. Then, Mike waves his hand by, and in that moment, I saw a flash of blood soaked into the palm of his hand. Right away, he realized he made a mistake and tried to cover for it by closing the blinds immediately, but it was too late. I laid starkly awake all night after that, worried with anxious thoughts about what the reason for that bloody hand could have been from. The only conclusion I could reach was that he'd taken the life of his mother and sister and buried them in the backyard to keep it a secret. I didn't bother telling my son because I knew he would just brush me off, so I eventually called the cops. By morning, the cops were out in front of Mike's house, and he was immediately apprehended. Turns out that Mike's mother died in an altercation with his sister, and he helped her cover it up. Over the years, the sister had gotten ill and eventually died young. As for why he wanted to bury her in the backyard too, it was alleged that he did it for financial reasons. Just goes to show what people will do when money is tight. But if you ask me, I think the cops barely got half the truth out of that guy. I bet something way worse happened inside that house. The story was inspired by a downright terrifying incident that happened in Chicago.
Okay guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.